Hey everybody, it's time to swing with Still Swinging, and I'm your host, Thomas. And today, family, we got Ben Macklemore of the Portland Trail Blazers up. Look, Ben Macklemore was found guilty of the SA and grape of a Caucasian lady at a party that him and his friends was attending. Okay, look, this brother had a promising career, bright future ahead of him, all gone, all gone. All right, and let's get a walkthrough of what happened that night, and I give my assessment after he's done, fellas.
Along the way that you thought
Former Trailblazer Ben Macklemore took the stand in his defense on Thursday, telling his version of what happened at a house party where he was accused of raping a woman after a night of drinking. Macklemore says the evening began with bowling before team members met at Robert Covington's Lake Oswego home for cards and drinking.
But I was just, just being there and just enjoying the night and just, having that time with my teammates and stuff.
Macklemore testified he encountered the alleged victim in the bathroom after some of her friends asked him to help move her to the couch because she was intoxicated. Macklemore said he eventually fell asleep on that same couch and then woke up a few hours later with that woman's hands down his pants.
Fondling me and basically rousing me. So that's what pretty much woke me up. Again, I'm in deep sleep.
That's when Macklemore says he began having sex with a woman, an encounter he describes as consensual.
She didn't show no signs of distress or discomfort. It didn't, give me no signs at all or alertness of that.
Macklemore says that he and the alleged victim never spoke with each other before, during, or after the encounter, and he left Covington's house immediately after they had sex. During cross-examination, the prosecution argued the alleged victim never consented to sex with Macklemore.
You did say on direct it was one of the most terrible things I've ever done in my life.
Right.
Having sex with an unconscious woman would be one of the most terrible things, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't say unconscious, but that moment was me leaving without saying anything was definitely a terrible one of the.
The trial will continue tomorrow here in Clackamas County with more experts and character witnesses expected to testify. Closing arguments could happen sometime next week. Back to you.
The charge.
Former Portland Trailblazer Ben Macklemore showed little emotion after a Clackamas County jury found him guilty of rape following a 2.5-week trial. The jury convicted him on 3 counts: first-degree rape, first-degree sexual penetration, and second-degree sexual abuse. Prosecutor Scott Healy.
You just don't do something like this to somebody and get away with it. I don't care who you are.
Prosecutors say Macklemore raped a 21-year-old woman at a party in October of 2021. The assault happened at the Lake Oswego home of Macklemore's then teammate Robert Covington. During trial, the woman testified she was incapacitated after a night of heavy drinking and unable to consent. Macklemore admitted he'd been drinking as well, but testified the sex was consensual.
She didn't show no signs of distress or discomfort. It didn't, give me no signs at all.
The prosecutor described the victim as brave for coming forward, reporting the crime, and then following the long road to justice.
Crime victims don't often report these cases, even when celebrities not involved. So she was very brave to do that. She followed through. She stuck with this. And, I think she's in a much better place now, and she can start the emotional healing process because she is very emotionally traumatized by what happened to her.
Following the verdict, sheriff deputies took Macklemore into custody. The former Trailblazer, who once wore number 23 on the court, now has a new number. Ben Macklemore's inmate 273-47953 in the Clackamas County Jail.
Fellas, you see what happened with one bad decision? Fellas, I wasn't there. The jury wasn't there. We just got to take her word or his word. Who word you think they're going to take? Fellas, this was one of the biggest reasons I stopped doing that. I stopped dealing with Caucasian ladies. Not because I don't find them attractive, bro, but because of situations like this. Bro, I know a guy doing 64 years in the penitentiary for something, bro, they know didn't happen. Because this what these Caucasian ladies said he done. But the evidence showed that it's no way possible he could have done what they said he done. All right, but he doing 64 years, and it's on camera that clearly these ladies is coming and going at their free will. Once they said you done something, bro, they don't care nothing about what the evidence said. So here it's just his word against hers, and no evidence to the contrary or to accept what she's saying. Fellas, you go sleep with a young lady and she regret it next week, and she come back with a story like this, even if it didn't happen, he cooked. He cooked, fellas. Whether it happened or not, he cooked. Okay? Because that's the climate that we live in. That is the climate that we live in, my brothers. That you get careless with that thing in your pants one night, and fellas, it could be everything he said it was. She regretted it. Let's just say it's everything he said it was, and she regretted it. Now she was not in her right mind, and he's saying, "Well, I wasn't in my right mind." They don't care. They don't care. They don't care what kind of mind he was in. All right, if she said he done something to her. Fellas, that's a bad situation to have to be in. To have to defend yourself against some allegations coming from this particular lady right here. And you this particular shade complexion of this brother right here. I'm telling you right now, you're going to lose. And it's just a game I ain't going to play. All right, listen, I used to play it all the time until it happened to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. And I said, no, and I know what you're saying, fellas. I know what you're saying. Well, that could be any woman. It don't just have to be, a Caucasian lady. True, I agree with you 100%. But at least if it's not a Caucasian lady, brothers, I feel like I at least got a chance. But I know off the top that once she say you done something, I know how this system set up. You done it. And I don't care what the evidence is saying. All right, listen, this brother had it all. He was living his life. You know how hard he worked for this life? And that bad decision that he made, bro, look, I don't know what happened. I ain't there. I wasn't there. But, bro, he threw it all away for nothing. All right, he was just having a regular good time. But you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself, fellas, especially when you a man on the level. And, bro, this brother was on the level. He was young. He was on his way. His whole life ahead of him. He's still young. Instead of being on his way to the next city to display his talent on the court, he on his way back to the jail on a prison bus, shackled down with the rest of the dudes who did nothing with their life. And all he put into his life, and this way he came up with. From one bad decision, fellas. One bad decision, guys. This brother could be telling the truth. All right, I don't doubt his story. I ain't saying, he innocent, and I ain't saying he guilty. I'm telling you I wasn't there. I was not there. I'm telling you, if it happened the way this brother said it happened, it ain't gonna matter if she's saying that's not what happened. Now, bro, any other lady, if the lady looked like him, or if that lady had a different dialect or something, and it wasn't this particular lady right here, he could defend himself in court. Fellas, and that's just me. All right. And I know, you know what I'm saying? We people. So we always want to see the good in people. But fellas, sometimes people got the worst intentions. And sometimes they might not even mean it. Bro, I don't know if she was setting him, if he's telling the truth, right? Then that means either one or two things. She had this plan, or she felt guilty about it later. And this was she went and done. But I wasn't there, fellas. So I can't tell you which way. And I'm not trying to. I'm just telling you, however a situation like this go, if she go and say that's not what happened is some type of way, some advantage was taken of her. They come in to get your butt. They come in to get your butt, and then you're going to have to defend yourself in court against these allegations. Fellas, he could win an appeal, right? And let's say, because I think he's facing, 10 years? Yeah, and he gets sentenced on Wednesday. All right, and let's say he get the 10 years, and let's just say he win an appeal, and he get out in 3. He ain't going to be able to ever get his life back. All right, he finished as a ball player. He disgraced. All right, listen, don't nobody want to be associated with you if that's what you've been accused of, especially as a brother. Especially as a brother. Bro, listen, you got to avoid these situations at all costs. Man, you can't be getting intoxicated at no party around women you don't know. And you're going to hang out around women you don't know. Bro, listen, we don't live in that climate. All right, you at a random party with random women who don't have nothing to lose, and you just think you just still in college, and that's not the case. You just never know what's on somebody's mind. You can't control what anybody else is going to do, fellas, but you can control what you yourself will do. And sometimes, bro, you got to back off. You got to not let that thing think for you. All right, bro, I know something about making bad decisions with this thing in my pants. All right? Bro, most of my stab wounds came from women. All right, from me, just the way I've been moving through life. But I learned, man. I learned it's not worth it. It ain't. And look, all this brother threw away over that. Come on, fellas. Could you imagine how he kicking himself in the butt? Bro, the kind of money that was on the table for this brother, he could took care of a lot of his people. Instead, he going to be in a cell, needing somebody to take care of him. All right. Hopefully he'll get this figured out if that's not what happened. But fellas, we don't have no way of knowing. Don't nobody have no way of knowing. You would just have to take his word for it, or take her word for it. Who word you think they're going to take? And I know you think you just showing up with my word against hers because we both was this and we both was that. Not when that her is her. That ain't going to be no kind of argument when that her was her. Trust me, they not even going to listen to your side of the story. I could promise you that. That's just a formality that they got to listen to him. But he was guilty the minute she said he done it. And I could promise you that. All right, if they come and say you done that after you've been with, bro, I don't know how you going to defend yourself against that. And listen, once again, fellas, I'm not saying he's innocent, And I'm not saying he guilty. I'm saying I wasn't there. And I'm saying if this brother telling the truth, he threw it all away just to have a party. All right? Don't you do nothing like that. Still swinging out. I love y'all, fellas.